ready to hop in the time machine.
Time machine.
Yeah, we're about to do a deep dive into the markets, 2024 to be exact.
Gotcha. I'm with you.
It was a wild ride. But instead of a DeLorean,
Right.
our vehicle of choice is going to be this stack of financial reports and news articles.
All right, I got my reading glasses ready.
Perfect. Now I'm seeing record highs, AI dominance, even election shockwaves.
Oh, yeah. 2024 was a year for the history books.
It wasn't just numbers going up and down. It was a whole economic drama unfolding.
It really was. Let's start with the S&P 500.
Okay.
24% jump, hit 57 new all-time highs.
Not bad.
Not bad at all, but it's only the 5th best year for those all-time highs.
Really?
Yeah. We had 1995, 2021, even 1964 with more record-breaking days.
So big gains, but not totally unprecedented.
Right. We have to keep things in context.
Here's what I don't get, though.
Okay.
This is the second year in a row with a 24% gain for the S&P. 2 back-to-back powerhouse years. Shouldn't we have seen some kind of correction?
You'd think. Historically, the market likes to even itself out after a big run-up.
Right.
But 2024, it kind of just shrugged off all the usual rules.
It did, didn't it? We had, slowing economies overseas, inflation hanging around like an unwanted house guest.
All those global headwinds you'd think would have dragged the market down.
Don't forget Katy Perry's new album.
Probably not a major market factor.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, 2024 had a mind of its own.
Speaking of defying expectations, let's talk about the Fed.
Oh boy, the Fed.
At the beginning of the year, remember, everyone was predicting rate cuts, like it was a foregone conclusion.
Rate cuts galore. Then inflation decided to stick around.
It did. So the Fed, they've got this balancing act.
Always. Their dual mandate, keeping inflation in check,
Right.
but also making sure the job market stays healthy.
It's a tough job.
2024 really put them through the ringer.
Oh, they were walking a tightrope for sure. And then that August 5th jobs report, the one that sent shivers down every investor's spine.
It was worse than anyone expected, and suddenly everyone's worried. Is the Fed going to sacrifice the job market just to beat inflation?
Yeah.
That narrative took hold pretty fast.
And then September, they cut rates. Bigger than anyone thought, too. 50 basis points?
You'd think the market would celebrate, right?
I would, yeah.
Nope. It dipped initially. It's that whole buy the rumor, sell the news thing.
So all that anticipation, the buildup.
It all gets released when the news finally drops.
And people start taking profits. Like everyone was holding their breath. Then they all exhaled at once.
Something like that.
So the Fed kept everyone guessing all year long.
Oh, yeah. And that's probably going to continue into 2025.
But while everyone was watching the Fed,
Mm-hmm.
there was another force quietly reshaping the markets.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about. AI. It was everywhere in 2024.
Okay, so we have the Fed's drama.
Right.
And the rise of the machines.
2024 does sound like a movie, doesn't it?
But seriously, AI dominance, how did it play out?
You can't talk about AI in 2024 without talking about Nvidia.
Nvidia. You hear it everywhere.
And for good reason. Their stocks surged almost 180%.
Wow, so they're the poster child for this AI-driven growth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's bigger than just Nvidia. Their success shows how much money's pouring into AI across the board. Healthcare, manufacturing, you name it.
So Nvidia's success is almost like a measure of how much the world is betting on AI.
That's a great way to put it. And speaking of unexpected winners, did you see how utilities did this year?
Utilities, that's a surprise.
Right. But think about it.
Okay.
All those AI algorithms, those massive data centers they use, it takes a ton of energy to run all that.
Right.
It's like AI has an insatiable energy appetite, and that's driving investment into utilities.
So we're not just talking solar panels and wind farms here.
Nope. Even nuclear power is getting a second look.
Wait, seriously, like they're dusting off those old reactors.
In some cases, yeah. Remember Microsoft's decision to restart the reactor at 3 Mile Island?
3 Mile Island? That's incredible.
Shows you how much things are changing.
AI is driving demand for energy, and utilities are stepping up to meet it.
A whole new landscape.
Okay, so we've got the Fed, AI reshaping entire industries.
Mm-hmm.
And Bitcoin, it broke above $100,000.
Talk about defying expectations.
2024 was all about that, wasn't it?
It really was. And it makes you wonder, what's in store for 2025?
Exactly. Okay, so we've got the big picture trends, the Fed walking a tightrope, AI booming, the election roller coaster.
It's a lot to unpack.
It is. But now I want to get into the nitty-gritty, the specifics.
Okay.
Because even in a year with record highs, there are always winners and losers.
Always. Let's dive in and see who came out on top.
And who got left behind?
Yeah, it's easy to get lost in those big market trends.
It is.
But when you look at individual companies,
Yeah.
that's where you see the real story.
Right, because even with those record highs, some companies must have absolutely crushed it.
Oh, yeah.
While others,
Not so much.
So let's start with the winners, the ones who made investors do a happy dance.
All right, well, at the top of that list, got to be Palantir. 367% surge. You could call them the Messi of AI.
367%. That's insane. What was their secret? Did they crack some kind of AI code that nobody else has?
It's more than just the tech.
Okay.
They really understand their market. Government agencies, the military, they provide intelligence software, very specialized stuff.
So connections matter, even in the world of AI. It's not just about algorithms. It's about who you know and who trusts you.
Absolutely. Another example, Vistra Corp.
Yeah.
Energy producer. They were up 268%.
Vistra Corp, nuclear power, right?
You got it. Their bet on nuclear seems to be paying off big time. But it makes sense when you think about it.
Yeah, all those data centers, the processing power needed to run AI. It's an energy hog.
And Vistra Corp, they saw that demand coming.
Smart.
They positioned themselves perfectly to benefit from this whole AI revolution.
It's like they had a glimpse into the future, or at least a very energy-intensive version of it.
And then, of course, you have the undisputed king of AI.
Nvidia.
Over 187% surge.
I think we've mentioned them once or twice already.
It's kind of hard to ignore them when they're crushing it like that.
They're like the picks and shovels of the AI gold rush.
Well put.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just the big players. We also saw some incredible performances from lesser-known companies. Take MicroStrategy, 343% surge, all thanks to their all-in bet on Bitcoin. They had some serious conviction.
I admire their guts, but man, that level of risk.
Not for the faint of heart.
Not for me, that's for sure.
It was a bold move, and it definitely paid off this time.
Yeah.
But it's not a strategy for everyone.
Right, not all of us can handle those stomach-churning Bitcoin swings.
Okay, who else caught your eye?
AppLovin Corp, I know them. They're the ones behind all those ads that pop up in my games, right?
Exactly.
Never thought I'd be praising a company for interrupting my Candy Crush streak.
Well, it's easy to dismiss those ads as annoying.
They are.
But it's a massive market, and AppLovin Corp, they're right in the sweet spot.
So, lesson for investors.
Yeah.
Sometimes the most lucrative opportunities, they're hiding in plain sight, even if they come with a slightly annoying jingle.
That's a good one. Okay, one more for you.
Hit me.
GeneDX Holdings, genomic sequencing company. They were kind of under the radar, but then they exploded. 2,810% this year.
2,810%. That's not just an explosion, that's like a supernova. I'm guessing not many people saw that one coming.
They were a hidden gem.
So it pays to do your research, dig a little deeper.
Absolutely. Sometimes the most rewarding investments, they're not the obvious ones.
So we've seen the highs, the companies riding the AI wave, some unexpected winners. But 2024 wasn't all sunshine and rainbows.
Unfortunately not. For every company that soared, there were others that stumbled.
Yeah, even in a year with record-breaking gains.
Let's talk about the companies that didn't fare so well.
Okay, time to face the music. Who were the biggest losers?
One of the most notable was Canoo, the electric vehicle startup. Their stock plummeted 98%.
98%? Ouch! What happened there? EV bubble bursting, or was it something specific to Canoo?
Well, the EV market is getting really crowded.
Yeah.
It's not enough to just have a cool electric car. You've got to navigate production, supply chains, and maybe most importantly, build a brand that people connect with.
So it's like the Wild West out there, a land grab for market share.
Exactly. And Canoo, they just couldn't keep up.
Another one that faced some tough times, Rapt Therapeutics.
The biotech company, yeah, their stock plunged 93%.
Biotech, it's high risk, high reward. And in this case, sadly, more of the risk, less of the reward.
They hit a few snags. Clinical trials didn't go as planned, some regulatory hurdles.
It's a tough business. You're betting on scientific breakthroughs, and sometimes the science just doesn't cooperate.
That's the truth. And then there's the worst performer on the S&P 500, Walgreens, down 65%.
Walgreens. Now that one really surprises me. I mean, they're everywhere. What happened there?
Classic case of disruption. Less foot traffic in their stores, more people shopping online.
Makes sense.
Increased competition for those online retailers.
So they're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. The old way of doing business fading, but the new way squeezing their profits.
It's a tough lesson,
Yeah.
but one that a lot of traditional retailers are learning the hard way.
And of course, we can't forget about Intel.
Down 58%.
But once mighty chip maker, struggling to keep up with the AI revolution.
It's like watching a former champion lose their edge.
It's a bit sad.
But it's a reminder, no company is too big to fail.
Is there any hope for them? Or is it too late?
I don't think it's too late.
Okay.
They still have resources, they have talent, they have a brand,
Right?
but they need to adapt.
And fast.
Exactly. They need to double down on developing those processors, the ones that are specifically designed for AI.
They need to go head-to-head with Nvidia.
That's right. Push the boundaries of what's possible with chip design manufacturing
They need to stop playing catch-up.
and start setting the pace.
Easier said than done.
For sure. But if they can pull it off,
Yeah.
their stock price could see a real comeback.
Fingers crossed for Intel, then.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So it's not about being right all the time.
Wow.
It's about learning from those mistakes.
Both our own mistakes
Yeah.
and the mistakes of others.
Exactly. We've seen the highs, the lows, the forces that shaped 2024.
The companies that rode the wave and those that got wiped out.
It's been a wild ride, just like we said at the beginning.
Time travel through the markets.
And if there's one thing we've learned, it's that the market, it's full of surprises.
You never know what's going to happen next.
But even though it's unpredictable, it doesn't mean we're powerless.
Not at all.
We can choose to be informed.
To do our research.
So I think long term,
To manage our risk.
it's about being prepared, not scared.
Well said.
So as we say goodbye to 2024, let's raise a glass to the lessons we've learned
To the wisdom we've gained.
and to the exciting, unpredictable journey that awaits us in the markets.
Here's to that. May your portfolios be ever in your favor.
And may Katy Perry's next album be a market-neutral event.
Now that's something I can get behind.